Hello, J-Nell here, and we have a lot to talk about, so let's go ahead and get to it just real quick. Man, when you decide to go back to school full-time on like 10 days notice right before the school year starts, boy, is it stressful. This whole week, it's been so much, not only just with orientation, and of course, everything's online. There's been all kinds of glitches and just getting the right classes for the right degree and books and just all COVID issues and just all of this stuff. It's actually been quite stressful and stressful, but in a good way. I'm very excited to start this new chapter. Although I think it's been about 8 years since I've been to school. I went to, school year here, year there, all of that for the last decade and a half or whatever. But it's definitely been a minute since I've been to school at all, let alone full time. So I am excited. I'm also very, very nervous, and it's been very, very stressful this past week. But wish me luck. I say all that to say this event, UFC Fight Night 35 picks happening tomorrow. I say that all of that to say that there's 6 fights on the main card, but I'm only doing 3 picks. The reason why, the Ultimate Fighter finales is on this. So you have 2 weight classes, so there's 2 fights there. There's a 3rd fight because they normally pick like 2 of the fighters who didn't make it to the final, but they put on good fights and fan favorites. They'll put them, give them a chance on the card as well. So there's a 3rd Ultimate Fighter fight as well. And I am still on the final prelim of that show. That's how far back I am. And the guy from that final prelim that I have not watched is actually in the final. So one of the guys I haven't seen fight at all, let alone the rest of them. I have no knowledge. I haven't seen enough footage, haven't had a chance to do the research. So that is why I'm not making picks on the Ultimate Fighter fights. It's just been crazy. We'll see how things happen when school starts. Only 2 classes start, and then I have the next 2 like in about a month. So I'll be able to figure out some sort of schedule and get everything straight. But so I do apologize, but that is the reason why I can't do the Ultimate Fighter picks. I just don't know enough. So let's get into the picks that I can do. First up, I'm choosing Mahmoud Muradov to beat, it's just blanked on me, Gerald Meerschaert. My bad. I'm doing this, it's quite late right now. I'm choosing, because I've been doing so much online and I'm trying to figure out the books and everything. Like all the glitches. It's been the glitches. And my eyes hurt staring at the, I'm gonna have to, woo! All right. So next up, I'm choosing Kevin Lee to beat Daniel Rodriguez. This one I'm kind of going back and forth on. I do believe Kevin Lee will be able to get it to the ground where I do believe he is superior. However, he has to be careful about how he goes in. He has to protect himself. He can be knocked out. I am going with Kevin Lee. I will have to see what they look like in the weigh-ins. Haven't even got a chance to look at that, but I will be looking at that tonight. So be looking out for them renegs, because I actually think all of these fights are pretty competitive. I do those. You have to follow me everywhere. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And since we're talking about that, please go ahead and subscribe. Please go ahead and like the video, share, hit the notification button. Let's go ahead and talk about all of this goodness and that's coming in the next 2 days. So on to the main event, and we're talking about number 9 and number 10. I'm not quite sure who is who. It's the featherweight division, which is on fire right now. So on fire that even the featherweight divisions in the other organizations are good. I don't know if you noticed that. They're all good. A lot of good featherweights right now. And we're seeing 2 of them here with Edson Barboza taking on Giga Chikadzie. For me, this is a matter of uniqueness. This is spontaneity. This is a bit of controlled chaos against more fundamentals with Edson. And there's not really any reach advantage for either one. There's about an inch here, inch there. But however, with Edson working on his traditional boxing, we've seen that. We've seen his traditional jab come in play, but with those Muay Thai kicks as well, he could also use his jabs. I think that actually might put him over in this fight. I'm not sure. Giga is very unpredictable. He also hasn't been in a 5-round fight. In his last few fights, he's actually got out in a 1 round. However, all the featherweights have good cardio, but it is different when you're having a 5-round fight with all of the emotions, adrenaline rush, all of that. You can get overexcited when you get in there. You can get overzealous and blow your load too early, think you can get him out when he's not out yet. So there's all of those other things that can drain your cardio. I am worried to see, or wanting to see, what happens to Giga if this does get into round 3, round 4. He can win this fight, but I do think he needs to win it earlier. I just think that Edson will eventually figure him out the longer the fight goes on. So I am picking Edson Barboza. I do, again, I'll look at the weigh-ins and see how they both look together. I like both fighters. I like Giga as well. Again, the featherweights are on fire. I'm super excited for this. I think it's going to be a great fight. And again, all the fights that I've talked about they look super competitive, so I'm excited for it. But picking Edson Barboza for now, but be checking out to see me might renege. Now, Next up, I don't know if this is true or not. Someone let me know. We have Showtime Boxing coming on this Sunday, and we are seeing Little Paul take on Tyron Woodley, former UFC welterweight champion, a very highly decorated welterweight champion too, especially back then, even though he is on a losing streak coming out of that. So this apparently is a professionally sanctioned boxing match, so we're going to have professional rules. Someone let me know if that means 3 judges declaring a winner and all of that jazz. Looks like there's professional fights on the undercard as well with real boxers, so we're not seeing like a Chad Johnson or anything come in. That's why I said I question if it's true or not, because we're seeing so many professional fights. So someone let me know about that. I guess I'm gonna make a pick. I think I made a pick last time, so I will say they've done a good job with the press conferences. They've done a good job with promoting this. They do know how to throw a show, I have to say. Tyron Woodley is about 4 inches shorter. He's got about a 2-inch reach disadvantage, which will matter, because when it comes to traditional boxing, it is Little Paul that has the edge there. You can tell he's been training for about 4 or 5 years. You can tell in his mechanics and the way he throws it, the way his hips, his feet, you can tell that he's been training in traditional boxing. Because of that, because he has a jab and all of that, you will see that reach advantage. You will see it. I like the fact that Tyron is at least in shape. Ben Askren was coming off of hip surgery. He was overweight, clearly. Tyron still has a wrestling base as well. Boxing is not his game, but he does have knockouts on his record. He's 38 years old, but he, like I said, he is in shape at least. And we know that he's been training with traditional boxers actually for a while. Even before this, we know that he's been training there. So I do see why this is a bit more exciting. Seems like it's a bit more competitive. Jake Paul, of course, has the edge, and he is the bigger man. This is a cruiserweight. It's supposed to be like 190, something like that. So Tyron will be underweight. However, with that wrestling base, as far as physical strength, I don't think you're going to see him being undersized. In fact, I think he's going to use that to his advantage to try to tire Little Paul out. I believe it's 8 rounds. Someone let me know if it's 3 minutes or again, they said it's a real fight, so still like it's a real fight. So I guess it's gonna be 3 minutes, 3-minute rounds, 8 rounds. So I do believe that Tyron might try to wear him out, grab him a whole lot, be a little bit dirty, tug on him, things of that, try to get in his face, try to upset him. I'm not sure if that's gonna work, but he might be able to get him a little bit tired. We'll see. Try to drag it into the later rounds. His technique won't be there. If he headhunts, that won't work. And I do think he will headhunt a little bit. He's going to have to calm his nerves. It's not like Little Paul can't get under his skin. So I did a pretty good job doing a prediction on that, if I do say so myself, on this nonsense. So who I'm going to pick. It's hard to pick against Little Paul because you know that he only fights people that he's pretty sure he can beat. So I will say, if he does lose this fight, I will give him a little bit more respect, because that means he actually took a risk. And if it, not for not, anyone who gets into the ring or an octagon, whether it be a charity fight or anything like this, I do have respect for it, because anyone who's willing to get in front of people and test themselves in that way, respect. But if you actually test yourself against someone that you felt like, you know what, this is real competition, I actually want to take on a challenge, respect. Having said all that, again, and they're saying, like, do you think Tyron's going to be paid to take a fall? I don't know. I would love to say, you know, his pride, and he has too much respect for that. However, there's rumors he's having money problems, and we know that there might be marital issues. I think he's going through a divorce. So who knows? I don't know him like that. So I think I have to pick Little Paul because of knowing that he doesn't take fights but maybe he's turned a corner. Who knows? So I'm going to pick Little Paul for now. But here's hoping he gets knocked out. Sleep. Now, last but not least, Mr. Khabib Nurmagomedov, he made a little comment for some reason saying that ring girls were useless. And I'm not surprised by this. He also said that women shouldn't be fighters as well. He's got his views. He's been very clear on his views. You can go look at that. So that's him. So it brought this up, and a lot of people are talking about it, and you're getting some people on both sides, but I am hearing a lot of folks saying, yeah, get rid of them, take their money to help with the fighter pay, because we all fight for the fighter pay, because we know that they're underpaid and whatnot. And I just wanted to get my little 2 cents. First off, why do we have ring girls, right? So as someone who's been doing live shows since they were a child, all the way up through past college, actually, whether it be dance, and I don't mean exotic, Okay, I mean hip hop and African dancing, a little bit of pop and jazz as well. Someone who's been acting, someone who also choir as well, and a little bit of an athlete. But either way, someone who's been performing since they were 6 years old. I went to a theater art school for 2 years. So and high school, took state and theater competitions. Gold medal in the one act. I had no collar. Gold medal in the one act. Me, best female actress. Okay, I'm done. The reason why we have Ring Girls, it's about Dead Space being a live show killer. So sporting events are live shows. They're entertainment events. They are shows. Yes, the meat of the show, of course, is the actual sport itself. But you have all this window dressing that adds to the whole event of going to a live show. It's those things that you think don't mean anything, but when they're not there, you recognize it. You may not miss it. You may not be like, hey, bring it back, but you definitely notice that it's not there. Like you can with the Performance Center with the UFC in Las Vegas right now. It feels like we're watching fights in a gym. And that's fine for fight fans. I mean, but would you pay $1,000 to go watch that fight in a gym? Depending on who the fighter is, I might. But would I introduce someone to MMA for $500 a seat, $1,000 a seat, because I like to get floor seats when I go to live events? Am I going to introduce a new person to that event when we're going to look at a fight that looks like we're looking at a fight in a gym? No, I'm not. You need the music, you need the banners, you need the lights, you need the decorations, you need the cushiony seats, you need the red carpets, and you also need the ring girls. The ring girls are empty space fillers. They keep the energy high, even if it's just a minute between rounds, but they also do their thing before and after as well. You have ring announcers who hype up MCs who hype up the crowd before and after. Dead Space is live show killers, except for theater plays. That intermission, they want you to get out and do all your business. That way you don't get up out your seat during the play. It's the only exception. So a good example of how you use the profession, like I said, I'm not calling the women window dressing, but their job serves as window dressing. It's all a part of putting on a show. Are they a big important factor to putting on the show? No, but they are factors and pieces to putting on a live show, on top of the whole tradition fact. And as far as the whole misogyny is, well, it's misogynistic. Well, then the whole modeling industry is misogynistic, which it is. Ring girls are models, okay? So the whole modeling industry is misogynistic. So you should be arguing to get rid of the entire industry. One of the few professions where women make more than men, off top, by the way. So there's levels to everything. Things aren't black and white. So a good example of a good use of this are the Laker girls. I'm here in California. The Laker girls are used very well. They're not only doing all kinds of dances, doing dances with celebrities, pulling kids out doing dances with them. They're helping with the halftime shoot contest, holding the balls, holding the prizes, ushering things. Like they use them Laker girls very well. Same thing with the Clipper girls. I forget what they're called. I think they're called Clipper girls. Used very well. NFL is an example where the cheerleaders are very underutilized, right? So when used properly, there is space for these roles that a lot of people think are useless when it comes to sports. It's all a part of putting on a professional show. There is a purpose for ring girls. They keep the energy up in between the rounds. It is different than seeing numbers on a screen. Nobody's hooting and hollering at numbers on the screen. Keep that energy up. You see the cute girl, you're like, hey. Even as a woman, I see the cute girl, hey, she look good. You know what I mean? Keeps the energy up. Now, to those who are saying, let's go ahead and take their salary so we can better pay the fighters. How much do you think the ring girls really get paid, y'all? They're at the bottom of the models. The bottom of the models, okay? The average ring girl makes $18,000 on average, around there, $18,000 per year. Not per event. Per year. And then they have a bunch of independent contractors. Most of them are independent. They got about 5 to 7 that are on salary. About $18,000 per year. The independent contractors make about $1,000 to $5,000 per event. That's it. And they don't work a lot of events. That's it. Taking their salaries wouldn't even be a drop in the bucket to help a 600 plus fighter roster. All you would be doing is taking their jobs. And why are we stray bullets at the ring girls? Pop, pop. Why? Why are we talking about taking away somebody's job for what? For what? Look, I'm all for higher fighter pay, whether we talking about unions, where we want to support all the organizations so they can have leverage to fight for more fighter pay and bargain, whatever we need to do to get the fighters paid more. But the solution is not to take away the ring girls' jobs. Can we just stop that right now, okay? Ariane, people bring up, she makes a lot of money. Yeah, outside of the UFC. Most of the girls have to work, not most of them, they all have to work outside of the UFC just to make a living wage, okay? Ariane is a playboy, was a playboy, playmate, centerfold, or whatever, you know what I mean, whatever. She's done videos, she hosts shows, she's made majority of her money outside of the UFC. She made her name outside of the, she used the UFC to get her face out there. She used that to make money. Then she took that money back to the UFC to get higher pay from the UFC. She is the exception, and she still doesn't make that much money, not from the UFC. The rest of the girls, 18 grand on average a year. It's not even a living wage. Stop it. Ring girls are just like the fighters on the Ultimate Fighters. They're still in the amateurs. Okay? So go ahead and let's comment down below. Go ahead and give me your picks on UFC 35, and go ahead and talk about the Ultimate Fighter finale fights that are on the road. Go and give me the information. Let me know what's been going on. Are you excited for it and all of that? Because I have not seen it, so let me know what's going on. Give me, of course, your picks for that entire event. Go ahead and talk about the Showtime event, Little Paul versus Tyron Woodley. Your thoughts on that. Your thoughts on the undercard fights on that as well, and all of the madness surrounding this. And give me your opinions on the ring girls now that I've explained it a little bit better. And can we not take their jobs for no reason? Okay. Subscribe, like, talk to me, take care, and goodbye.